Hello, 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 hello. How are you guys doing today? I figured we hadn't did a love reading in a while, and so I am going to do a love reading. First of all, let me say this is going to be for those that are not currently in connections. Or I guess I shouldn't say that, because just because you're in a connection doesn't mean that that's your person or that you're going to stay in that connection. So this is going to be for someone over the next 3 months is the time frame. I'm going to take a look at what love looks like for you in the next months. Okay. Will love be coming into your life? So generally, this is going to be for someone who's looking for love or to enter into some type of love, relationship, romance, situationship, like whatever that looks like, according to what it is that you desire. We're going to take a look and see what that looks like for you. Welcome to Blood Moon Oracle. My name is Leticia, and it is a pleasure to read for you this evening. It's been a while since I've been on here because I have been busy working, just working. Y'all wouldn't believe how many hours I worked this week. It's many. But, and then taking care of my plants too. They are growing so beautifully. I am pleasantly pleased. I'm pleased with what's happening with my plant life. And so I guess it just needed more intention and some more effort, some love, right? You kind of have to treat them like people, like they have needs too. And so I bought this humidifier. I also bought a special plant light because I know it's about to get cold and we're not going to be able to have sun. And so they'll need that, you know. And the type of plants that I have is thriving under the lights that I bought and the humidifier. They love it. You know, this is something that I'm learning. You know, it's not just watering a plant. There's so many other things involved. The other place where I had them right behind me, along my countertop there, it was too warm over there. And I was wondering why they kept getting like crispy around the edges. It was because one of the heater vents is right over that spot, and it's really warm over there. It gets really hot right there in that spot. And I was spraying them. They didn't like it over there, but they love it over here. There's no vents over here in this corner. And so I can control the heat and the light and the moisture. And so, you know, there's a lot of things that plants need besides just water. You know, there's, you know, humidity. We can plant the soil and then water it, but then there's also the certain environment that causes plants to thrive. And so I'm learning. I've lost some plants, some very beautiful plants too, but I'm learning, you know, hey. And so anywho, that has been taking up my time. And yeah, next on my list is a kitten. I've been kind of easing my way into that too. I think I'm ready. We're going to see what happens. I've been to a facility where they actually you have to buy them because of all of the health care that they've put into the pets. But I saw this one the last time I went, and immediately I fell in love. And guess what the name was? You'll never guess what the name of the cat was. It was Jupiter, right? Now, if that's not aligning. And she was so pretty. It was a girl. She was kind of looking like a leopard. She was like a leopard patterned. It was a mixture of browns in her coat and stripes. Like, she was really pretty, but I just didn't feel like I was ready yet. And so I'm giving it some more time because I know it's a big commitment. And so we're going to see what happens. I may go back in the next couple of weeks. I think I'm ready, which is going to change things up around here because I know they like to nibble on plants. So we don't have a problem if, you know, she wants to nibble on my plants, but that's why I've been hesitant because I'm not quite ready. Not quite ready. But let's go ahead and jump in. Enough about me. Let's talk about you and your love life over this next few months, okay? All right. We're inviting in spirit, you know, our spirit guides, our angels, ancestors, our higher selves, what we need to know about love that's coming in the next couple of months for us. For those that are watching that this would apply to, we're asking for all the information available, okay? And I'm also feeling like I'm being called to mark this as a timeless message. So no matter when you stop by to view this, okay, it's could apply. Okay. All right. Please and thank you. So the cards that came out for love is the Sun. See if we can get it to show here. We have the Sun, the Emperor, and the High Priest. All right. This is really some deep energy. I don't know if you might be being, introduced to someone that might actually turn out to be a pretty big deal. The Sun, the Emperor, and the High Priest, this is serious energy. It doesn't feel like this is just a fling or a situationship. This feels like commitment. Starting off with the Sun, like it starts off with a very successful energy. As we know, the Sun brings sunshine. The Sun brings enjoyment and success when it comes to love, fulfillment. It brings a lot of happiness shared with this person. And it's actually the sunflowers at the bottom is sticking out to me, and it really feels like a lot of growth. And so you could be finding out in the next couple of weeks with someone just how much you've grown to even be aligned for this type of connection, how much you've grown. And there may have been a time that you just came out of where you've been very protected as well. I'm feeling that with the Sun. You've been very protected. So you feel like everybody's been avoiding you or everybody's in a happy relationship with you, but there may have been some protection happening for you, around you in the past. The Sun is almost like a card of innocence, a card of play and having love and joy come to fruition from this very beautiful space. Now, the Sun also brings an element of fire. So I feel like you could be someone who's very passionate. You could fall in love quickly. Someone who's very driven. You could be someone who your love language is touch and warmth. And so you could be a fire sign. This is a Leo sign. This feels like you could need a lot of affection as well. And this could stem from just being raised in that kind of environment. You could have been raised around a lot of passion and love and support. And so I feel like this is a lot of enjoyment coming your way in the next 3 months in this connection. And it feels very much deserved. Like you may have positioned yourself and did some healing, prepared yourself in certain ways. You could have really restrained yourself from any relationship in preparation for the right one. It feels like there might be some reward coming here in the future for me. Whatever it is, it's going to be love and creative with this Sun, whatever it is coming towards you. This may not actually be the general kind of love or relationship or person that you're used to. There may be something very different, even something more assertive with this person that you'll be meeting in the future when it comes to love. You may find yourself in that energy when it comes to love, a little bit more assertive and more comfortable. We also have the Emperor here and the High Priest. And so when we look at the Emperor, first of all, look at his face, right? What is that look about? I don't know if that's a look of caution or a look of, sometimes you're doing something you're not supposed to be doing and you're like trying to see if anybody just saw that. It's that kind of look like right there. That's kind of like what it feels with the Emperor. However, the Emperor does represent a very grounded and stable type of love, right? It's high level energy. It's the type of energy that actually don't play. Now, the interesting thing about this card, though, when I dropped it, it fell in reverse. Okay. So we're going to talk about both qualities, right, of what's coming towards you in the next 3 months. And it could be either or. Like I was saying, the Emperor is really stability and love and groundedness. And carries a very responsible energy when it comes to love. This is somebody that don't play about their responsibilities. And so this is probably somebody that's going to be really serious, and somebody that, you know, takes their responsibilities to the heart. And this could be someone who carries a lot of responsibility as well and has some kind of position. And it might feel that way too. This is someone who has some type of status within their community or within their group. It just feels really royal and authoritative for me when I look at this picture. There's so many different symbols of position in the picture. But this is going to be somebody that I feel might end up being very protective, of the relationship, of you possibly. This is an Aries, so this is actually somebody that's going to be very self-motivated, high achieving. This is going to be someone who stands out, definitely. Now, if it came in reverse, so if you are someone that's seeking something a little bit stable and grounded, something steadfast, not something quick and fiery and passionate, though the sun brought that energy, this is someone who actually is a little bit more in the grounded side, someone that you can expect, right? Their actions, they're very stable in that way. You're not going to be guessing every other day which personality you're going to get, or whether or not, this person is going to be very grounded, very trustworthy, very steady, and very traditional, especially with the high priestess here. There's something very traditional about this person too. This person could be connected with business in some type of way and able to give some kind of advice as well. I just feel this sense of protection. This person is going to be very protected about what you guys develop, what you have, and they may be very protective about you. Now, in reverse, the Emperor becomes very toxic. Let me say that. The Emperor can actually be very controlling, domineering, use their power very manipulatively. It's really not a good energy. This did come out in reverse. And so I would say, watch out for red flags and don't second guess yourself. If you see some of those things, though there could be a lot of passion and a lot of drive and a lot of this vibrant, young, flourishing energy, right? Don't let that override red flags or, messages that we need to pay attention to. And so that could go either way. Keep your eyes open for the qualities of the person that's coming towards you. I feel like they're generally good qualities, though. That did come in reverse, so keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Because just because a person steps up with bad qualities doesn't necessarily mean that we won't consider them for long-term relationships. Just because I know a lot of people that are in long-term relationships with people that's just draining, right? It's just a lot. It's a lot to keep up with someone that wants to control everything. And the moment you step out within your own realm of influence, it becomes a problem. But people are with those kind of people. And this person is bringing long-term energy. So be careful what you receive and what you accept as something that you want, right? If that's not what you want, make that clear from the get-go. Because how you start a thing, baby, is how you gonna finish it. You can't start a relationship or a connection one type of way and be like, oh, that's so cute. Oh, he wants to know everywhere I am. Oh, he's checking up on me every time I leave the house. Like, you think it's cute in the beginning until it ain't, And so keep that in mind. If that's not the type of person that you can see yourself with, like 20, 30 years, because this is the kind of energy that's coming out, long-term commitment energy. If you don't see that as your type of person, then make that clear. That may be something you need to set as a boundary within yourself. What is acceptable and what is not? Because then it turns into, no matter what that is, whether that's the Emperor upright, which is this very beautiful, very worthy energy, right? And then when we turn it upside down, or it comes in reverse, it becomes the very opposite, an abuse of that power And so in a relationship, that could be very draining and just very ugly. Sometimes the things that, and if it's not a physical domination that's coming out here, it could also be like manipulative, like the things that people will go through to maintain the power over another person in a relationship is sometimes very, it's unbelievable, right? And so, however that feels, understand that control is not love. Just because he wants to know where you are 24 hours a day, that don't mean it's love, right? That has nothing to do with love. And so understand that, right? Understand that. And before you commit to it, make sure that it aligns. Are we able to really tap into our body and get a feel for if something is for us, if it feels right, if it's aligned with us, or do we just go for whatever comes our way without any type of screening or seeing if it even fits what we desire, right? And so this might be a moment over the next couple of months to start doing that, to start putting together, lists of things that you desire in a relationship. So that what you are attracting and pulling in aligns with that. And you have to be specific because spirit can have a little tiny sense of humor, right? I remember the last list that I wrote specifically, I was like, I want someone who is spiritual and someone who can, and I don't have to express a lot, like they can read my mind. Are you sure? Right? Are you sure that's what you want? Because just because you have that power, it doesn't mean that it will be used wisely. Like you have to be specific, like not only someone who can read my mind, but someone who is integrous about these abilities, about being able to tap in on such a deep level. Are they able to handle being tapped in on that level, or are they going to take advantage of it and try to control you through it? Right? That's what I mean when I say be specific. Like it's possible you can attract those types of energies, but to take it even a step further, okay, so what is the purpose of that? Right? The purpose would be so that someone would be able to connect on a deeper level and understand sometimes what is not said. For someone who sometimes have, certain challenges around communication, that would be beneficial in certain ways, right? And so be very specific because sometimes the universe can have they're going to respond to whatever it is that you ask for. But the more specific you are, the closer you can get to what it is that you, in fact, need and want. Don't just be random. Just bring me a man with money. How did he get the money? Is he going to be in and out of jail every other year? Is he going to be expecting you? And is he going to be, tricking and running schemes and games on other people to keep the money, right? It's not just about having money, right? Because you can have a little bit of something, a little bit of money, and be an excellent manager of that money and look like you're richer than someone with a whole bunch of money that don't know how to manage it and that may not even really work for it. So there is no respect for the money. There's no sense of wisdom around the money, right? And so you're asking for someone with money. Well, what does that mean? You have to be specific. For someone who may need a little bit more support when it comes to things like budgeting and finances, maybe you're not very knowledgeable. Okay, send me a man with money who's able to da 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 da, right? Be specific because you're going to receive what it is that you ask for and what it is that you expect. And so that's where being really specific comes in. Someone may need to make another list and embellish that list, add some specifics around what it is that you need and why you need it. Be specific. And what qualities, right, is that going to bring into the relationship because these things are met in the person that's coming your way. This is in the next 3 months. You have someone coming your way that's going to be, in the light. I feel like this is going to be somebody who's very, I'm getting the word, not necessarily attractive physically, but it's going to be something about them, like a light that shines, that draws people. And this is going to be someone who is able to invest in the energy and the purpose around growth. This is someone who is looking, for something long term. Because everything says that. When we talk about the sun, this is not just quick happiness and success and joy. This is long-term sustaining energy. So is the emperor. The emperor is one of the most, solid energies in the deck, the most sovereign energies in the deck. And then we have the high priestess. Like, you have a really good energy. This is someone who is not going to play. Now, that doesn't automatically mean that you have to accept this person and make them, your world or your everything, or make them into the person that you desire. This is giving characteristics about what's coming your way when it comes to love. Ultimately, you get to have the say so as to whether or not this is what you want. This is what's coming towards you. Because the high priestess, again, takes it to the next level. And we're talking about a connection. We're talking about a contract. We're talking about something that is high level, and essentially it's like marriage material, right? Long term, the rest of my life, a devotion, that lasts throughout life, because the high priest has a lot of spiritual energy around it, a lot of groundedness. So when we look at the emperor has a lot of grounded energy in the 3D, in the practical sense. And then this person also has a lot of grounded energy in the spiritual sense. Okay. And so this is actually really, really interesting energy. And it feels very regal to me. I don't know who this is, but this person, I'm hearing like leadership, or there's something about some type of hat or position that this person can have, may place them in front of a lot of people. And there's something about this person being like an example of some kind. I don't know. Whoever this is, I feel like carries a lot of responsibility and a lot of weight. This is somebody that is not playing. This is definitely somebody that knows what they want, that's coming towards you. But again, that doesn't mean that that's what you want. It's still up to you to decide if this aligns with what it is that you are expecting or, pulling in for yourself. When we think in terms of manifesting, right, we're casting our net, or just allowing ourselves to be attractive. Now, what we pull in may be a lot of things, but not everything may be what it is that aligns with what you need. When you cast your net out, when you're fishing, you pull in rubber tires sometimes, you pull in pieces of wood, and you pull in seaweed, big chunks of seaweed. Not everything that comes in is going to be something usable for you, right? And so it's still up to you to decide if this is what you want. It's nice energy. Now, that emperor did come in upside down, so there could be some qualities to watch out for. There could be some things about this person that might lead to a little bit of concern. Hey, but that's the energy coming out. Spirit is letting you know that here up front, okay? I would definitely say that love is, in fact, coming your way with what has come out. The sun in the next 3 months, the sun, the emperor, and the high priestess. And it is a serious love. This is not a fling. This is not someone trying to soar their royal oats. This is someone that's looking for something to connect with on a serious level, on a long-term level. What else do we need to know about this coming romance? So we heard a little bit about the person. What about the coming romance itself? What do we need to know? The coming romance. What do we need to know? The signs that came out so far, we have Leo, the Sun, Aries, the Emperor, and Taurus, the High Priest or the Hierophant. And then we have the World coming out. The Wheel of Fortune. I think the World is Pluto. The Wheel of Fortune is Sagittarius. And then the Hangman. The World is typically going to be an earth sign, Capricorn, and then the planet is Saturn, bringing finality, right? The World brings finality and prepares like for the next level. It's almost like a graduation, a summoning of everything, right? Everything that has been taught and learned. And then the Hangman is Pisces, and it's the planet Neptune. And there's something about the consciousness here, subconscious rather, and dreams and gathering insight. And the World, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Hangman is what you need to know about this new romance. It's almost like everything that you have, you're going to be so in tuned in this connection that you'll be in. It's almost like it's going to be a combination of you being aware, deeply aware, implementing the lessons that you've learned in the past about love while moving forward. You're going to be just kind of like multitasking energetically in this connection coming in. That's what it's going to feel like, because you're going to be so aware and connected to what you've learned about love and about your past relationships and about you. And you're going to be implementing that energy and those lessons and that information into your current experiences. It's actually going to feel very awakened where you're headed with this connection, this experience that's coming towards you in the next 3 months. You're going to feel very aware about what's happening within you during this process, like never before, right? When you're triggered, like you're going to be aware of that. When you slip into these fantasy-like trances and needing to come back to reality and be in the moment, like you're going to be aware of that too. All of the times where you were able to avoid, pitfalls, it's almost like you'll look back and say, wow, I could have ended up like this, and there's going to be this great awareness that everything happened with love, the way that it was supposed to bring you to the moment that you're in. And so it's going to be a very conscious experience that's coming towards you here in the future. That's what it feels like with the World, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Hangman. And it's going to be very broad. I don't see a lot of jealousy here. With the World is really talking about this great big open love. This great big open love that's protected. So there's no need to be jealous of it because it's protected, it's covered, it's growing, it's birthing more, giving life to everything. And it's ongoing and evolving. Yeah. I think there's going to be a lot of appreciation felt with this connection. A lot of celebration, even with the realization that you had to go through everything you went through. And that could be a whole bunch of stuff to get to where you are now, right? Or where you will be in the future with this connection. It was preparation for this moment. There's just going to be a lot of appreciation with this. There may be lots of talk. I mean, you may meet somebody and you may know instantly, it's like, this is my forever person. I just feel it, right? I can't help but get that energy with the World. Doesn't those flowers look like wedding flowers? Or this person's going to know immediately that about you, okay? And so there may be talk about, that energy, wedding energy. I also feel like with the World too, this is going to feel, the feeling that you get when you're traveling to a new place that you've never been, It's almost like that feeling. It's going to feel like something new, a new experience. For some of you, this may end up being something that you end up traveling, moving around a lot, not moving, but actually traveling around a lot. The world card, this could be someone long distance too. Yeah. And that might be what's meant when it say universal love. This is going to be an experience that you get to really enjoy and share with each other in many different places while you're traveling, maybe. This will be one that will give you the opportunity to do that if that's what you want. That's what you need to know. When we look at the Wheel of Fortune, which is a very busy card, doesn't that just look busy? There's so much going on. You almost have to be a scientist to decode it, right? And this is talking about all of the different experiences that you needed to have before getting to this point. There's something about this. What you need to know is that this connection is destined. It's fated. It is on your path. And it took a lot, not only from you, but I almost feel like you had an orchestration of angels and spirit guides and ancestors that were doing things to make sure that you get to this point. Everything was working accordingly to get you right here where you are right now. You'll have that realization, when you get to this place, that everything worked out exactly the way it was supposed to. And this, being in this connection may make life in general feel like it just shifted, like it's going to be one thing 1 minute, and then after you connect with this person in the future, it's going to immediately shift into perspective. Okay, so it's going to feel very destined, like you could not be anywhere else at any moment in time other than where you are right there at that moment in time. It's going to feel very destined, and it's going to change everything, right? It's going to change everything, how you see love, right? How you respond to love. And you're going to start seeing all these different signs as well. All these different signs that's pointing you in the right direction. All through this connection is going to be signs, maybe even from the past that you remember, that is going to be reminding you of those signs when you meet this person. But it feels very destined, and it feels like Spirit has his hand all in there, just all up in the business, okay? And you're going to see that. You're going to know that. And lastly, we have the Hangman. He's hanging upside down. Usually this could be considered a moment where we take a pause, take a quick breather. And there's something about this connection that's headed towards you that's going to make you feel like everything that happened before this now just makes so much sense. Everything is going to just come together so nicely. And this could be because you have not been in a connection for a while. Some of you have withstood connections for a period of time so that you can get clear on some things that happened in the past before moving forward, for fear of not wanting to make that same mistake. So it's like, let me stop. Let me just get clear within myself, right? Let me reconnect with myself. Let me really understand what it means to love myself before I open back up to something else. So all of that work that you put in is going to pay off, and it's going to make a lot of sense. And so exactly what you've been waiting for is about to come in for you, and you'll realize this. And there's something about this connection too that's going to give you more room to really explore. I do feel like there's a deep level of spirituality with this person. It's going to help you and give you the space to explore your spiritual self. It's a whole different experience, just you being by yourself, having a spiritual experience, than it is being with another individual. It's going to give you some room to explore yourself in light of being connected to another individual, right? So there's a whole nother aspect of who you are that this connection is going to wake you up to, okay? And I feel like the perspective that you have on love is going to be all the better because of this experience too, okay? And so, yeah, let's see. What else do we need to know? I'm going to get some cards from the Kipper. We're at 53 minutes. You already know. The girl is long-winded, okay? Count it to my head and not my heart, okay? Let's see here. What advice do you have for my viewer that this is resonating with? What advice do you have for my viewer that this is resonating with? What advice do we have for my viewer? First of all, I'm hearing learn how to protect what's yours. I don't know who that's for. Learn how to protect what's yours. Okay. And you're going to know what I mean when I say that, when you hear what I just said. Learn how to protect what's yours. That's the first piece of advice Spirit is giving. And the Spirit is also saying to understand that relationships is work. Like you don't just wake up one day and you've been married for 50 years and you didn't have to go through anything. You didn't have to work on yourself. You didn't have to humble yourself. You didn't have to be forgiving. Like relationships, be in connection and committed to another individual, that's work. We only see the pretty parts of the relationship that manage to show up on social media. We don't see the back work that goes into that, or whether even that's even real, right? You could be smiling just as cute and be the cutest couple of the year and behind doors fighting like cats and dogs. And so Spirit is saying, be willing, ready to work when it comes to relationship, right? All that you've learned up to this point is true. It has prepared you to do the work of being in relationship with someone else. And prepare for a message. Yeah, there's a message coming through. Spirit wants you to be prepared. I feel like Spirit also wants you to be thoughtful with communication. Be thoughtful. Don't just say the first thing that pops up to your mind or say what you think the other person wants to know. There's something about putting effort into communication. Spirit is saying your communication is gold. Like that is your key to success. Communication. Understand that. Without communication, there is no relationship. And if there is a lack of or a challenge, then that's the more challenge the relationships will have. There's something about communicating. How do you communicate? That could also simply just mean there's a message coming in for you. There's something else Spirit is saying too, like you have no idea like what this means. This what's coming towards you in the next 3 months, what this is opening up for you. You have no idea. There's a lot here that you don't see and that you don't expect. For somebody, this could be, something that totally just, I almost feel like you may have a change in direction or a realignment to your true direction. Yeah, there's something here about aligning that's going to bring a lot of abundance for you. That's what I'm hearing. But overall, protect what you have is what Spirit is saying. Protect what you have. And that could mean personally. It could also mean generally, right? It could mean generally. Be willing to protect what you have. Or it could also mean literally protect what you have. And, this is not a guarantee that this is going to be your forever person. This is not saying that, this is something worth giving your time. I'm just giving the energy that's coming towards you in the next 3 months. This is what you can expect. This is what you can prepare for mentally. And it may be an opportunity for you, again, like I said, for you to get to know yourself in a different way. Now, this energy, I do feel like will be in the energy of, when they meet you, they're going to be in the energy of for the rest of my life type of energy. That's the energy they in. That's the energy I see them in. They're ready for a commitment to settle down. Yeah. But again, it's up to you what you want. What does your list look like? And what does your person that you're manifesting look like? That's the question. And so this is what I see in the next 3 months. Something beautiful here. If nothing else, good experiences, maybe a good time, good laughs. And so let's see. Maybe I'll follow up with this and see what happened. Tap back in and see where it is. Okay. This is the love message that I have here for you over the next 3 months. This is the energy coming towards you. Okay. Let me know if that resonates. And we will see you soon. Okay. All right. Love you guys very much. Blood Moon Oracle is the name, and we'll see you next time. Like, share, and comment. Bye.